Yeah, we are live. So what were you saying?
Let's do CSS grid and Tailwind
Oh, yeah,
because
no.
I noticed that people don't really use Flexbox. Like before, Flexbox used to be like old people used to use it in old times, but CSS grid is what people are using now.
Actually, but me, I feel like Flexbox is that most people that use Flexbox they don't know the full capabilities of Flex. That's why they use Flex. I mean, they use Grid. So most of those things that we did in Flex in our stream are not things that a lot of people use. I mean, at least I've heard Flex before, but when you hear Flex, what comes to your mind is that okay, display Flex. You want it to just display horizontally, but you have not learned the fact that you can make Flex to like size your boxes. Or is that not the first time you're hearing it? You
Yes.
make maybe you write Flex one here. So those are the things that people don't really put more attention to. There are a lot of things that Flex can do aside from displaying Flex. So so they just want to like break that barrier of not knowing about those information by learning grid. So grid is not that hard. We'll just quickly search on it and discuss about it before we now learn something about Tailwind. I hope Toby is listening. I mean, Toby is not here.
Is here.
I'm here, I can hear you.
Mm. So yeah,
Mm,
let's quickly check about something on grid. So I don't think I really have all the information. So you call me. So in case you want to know other AI models, let me share my screenshot. How many AI models do you know, Bolu?
Bolu
Do you
is
use?
outside currently. He's going to come back very soon, sir. He went out, but he's
Okay.
coming back very soon now.
Mm. Let me wait for him then because it's the one that is following me about. Great, great, great. Pop, 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 pop. How is Monday going for you guys now? When do you wake up?
I woke up around 9 o'clock.
9.
Yeah, and I slept like
Yeah,
almost 4.
I slept 3 o'clock thereabout around that time, sha. Then I woke up I think 6 to prepare for work.
Almost. That is not good, though. You didn't sleep well at all, though.
I feel like I'm kind of used to it now. Sometimes I actually
Ah,
oversleep sometimes.
don't be used to
But
it, though.
I don't have choice now to wake up early.
Then don't sleep late. Like yesterday, even Bolu was asking me that when we were playing the game that are you not going to eventually sleep? Are you not going to sleep? You can't sleep 3 and wake up 6. So go down.
It's not good. Prioritize your health and your mental destiny.
No worry. My mental health is perfectly sane. Nothing do me. But guy, do you know there was one time like this when I was in secondary school that one of my teachers actually ran mad.
Yay!
I swear to God, one very
As that
funny
one.
experience I'll never forget. This
How
man,
did you
he was
how
my
how
biology
manage?
teacher. He was my biology teacher. This guy, there's nothing you want to tell him to do that he does not do. This man literally draws the human brain and labels it offhand.
Bro.
You draw gorilla brain, you label it offhand, everything. Now we always look inside those essential textbook. You know something that a lot of things that I can do like that. Sometimes this man will just sit and be talking to himself. Oh, that day, it was very funny. Because in school that time,
Wait,
we, hmm?
is it normal now? Is it normal now?
I think it's normal, but it's no longer in the teaching. It's not teaching again.
It's not
It's
supposed to
now
teach
doing
again, I
something
beg.
else.
Oh. So
It's now
even
doing
though
something else. Called
oh boy,
man, Mr. Oladejo, can never forget that day. It was during chapel
where they
because
draw
us, everybody has break. Everybody has break time now. So before our own break time, we always do chapel, just like one Christian gathering. Shall we just pray, talk about Bible small, then the remaining 30 minutes go for break. So it was one teaching on that chapel day. And so this man just talk, say, in be Jesus Christ. So make everybody bow down to him.
Azama.
If you see film that day, we're just watching film. Um, so let's quickly check on grid. Sha. So okay, Bolu is here now, but
Yeah, I'm here.
okay. I was asking before that which AI models do you use aside from ChatGPT?
Do I use or do I know?
Do you use? And can you give
Yeah.
like a,
Oh,
do you
I
use? Do you
use
use?
I use Grok. Yeah, I use Grok.
Mm-hmm.
Only Grok and ChatGPT because I feel the
Yeah.
like Claude now. I don't feel Claude is a serious
Chat
this thing.
GPT, not Chat
So
GPT.
I only
Claude
use
is not
Grok and
serious.
um,
Guy, I'm missing
I
out
said
on
Claude,
Claude.
Claude,
No
Claude
cap.
is not.
And that's what I'm saying. I say you're
Oh,
missing out on Claude big time.
Better.
You're missing
eh,
out. So now let's test it out.
Azar.
Let's test it out. Look, I'm going to open this ChatGPT now. Since we want to learn about what's it called? Grid. So I don't think I
All the mark, I beg, I want for me.
have like all the information. So we'll just check. We'll ask two of them to give us all the information we need to know. The one that comes out with the best GPT by far, and even Grok. Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you better now.
Oh yeah, no, sure. So I was like, Claude does too much, but it's better than Grok and ChatGPT most time. So if you want to use them like that, it's better to just use them for different things. Like now, me, if I want to be like a standard project, what I always use ChatGPT to do. I don't always use just one AI model for everything. I use ChatGPT and Grok, or I use ChatGPT alone to like reason and know everything about the project and everything that I want to do. Let's say they give me like the PDF of the requirement of that project. I'll basically just send the PDF to ChatGPT and then decide and talk about different things on how to achieve that project and how to like make it standard. Then after that, I'll now go to Claude. So everything that we have done, basically, that's the plan that has been set out in ChatGPT. I'll now be doing it with Claude side by side so that will like make the work more efficient. Then for Grok, Claude, he has like not as much. That's if you guys in the free version, does not have plenty prompts. Like I think like about 5 or 6 prompts, depending on how long the results it gives you is that's what it does. So you have to like just use everything together. But Claude is better than two of them combined. That's Grok and Chat. So let's test it now. So we want to learn. We are on stream today, and we wanna know more about grid in CSS. I want you to give us the information we need. So I'll copy this one too. Then I'll come to Claude now and paste it as well. So one thing I'm saying is that ChatGPT is somehow lazy. This one that ChatGPT is trying to prove himself to me now. Not doing too much. So let's review it together. So what is CSS grid really? CSS grid is a two-dimensional layout system. Unlike Flexbox, which thinks in one direction at a time, grid thinks in rows and columns together. Use grids when you are building page layouts, when you want precise placement and you want to control without arcs. Think dashboards, landing page, galleries, blah, 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 blah. So you know that one. So the best thing, the main thing you want to know is that normally when you want to do display flex, you basically just put the display flex on the container, that's the flex container, what you want to control how the arrangement looks like, you just put display text there. So for grid too, you do the same thing, display grid. So that's like the art of everything you want to do. So you basically just put display grid, then that's one line unlocks everything. So after you have done that one, every other grid, what's it called now? Grid properties, you can be written them, I can be written under it. So now after that, you have already told the display grid, then you want to like specify how you want it to be like on the column and how you want it to be like on the row. Grid basically controls rows and column and how they are displayed. So you basically just put grid template columns. So here you now have 200 px, then 1 1. So what you are saying here is this. So you are basically just sharing everything inside that particular container, right? To be at least 200 px, then in a fraction of 1 1. That means, okay, well, as long as we have maybe we have 3 boxes inside that container, the minimum size of the 3 boxes is going to be 200 px. Then they are going to share the remaining size, as that's 1 1. That means everybody is taking a fraction of the space that's inside the box, just like saying flex 1. I hope you are following, Mboli. It's just like saying flex 1, that the space takes
Yes, I'm
the
following.
like so that's basically what this one does. And this one now, grid template rules 100 px auto. So let's just check where we now are. Okay, we have this one, second column gets double the space of the first. So we have grid templates one. If you put one fr and two fr, that means the second column is going to be taking twice as much size as the first column. We're still going to use small example on HTML to like to make it more understandable to us. So if you want to stop repeating yourself, okay, you can repeat 3 comma this. So gap also affects grid, and we have row gap and column gap. Normally in flex we cannot specify row and column gap. If we put gap, it's going to affect both row and column. That means the vertical spacing and the horizontal spacing. So you can also add those ones to this one, but you can also specify separately if you want the size for the row gap to be different from the one of the column gap. So you can also do that one too. Then placing items explicitly. So grid columns 1/3 starts at column 1 and end before column 3. I don't really understand this one. Let us tell grid lets you tell items where to live. You're drawing visible lines and placing items between. So maybe I'll still try this one again, but I don't understand that one. So naming areas, this blows mind lives. Minds. This is big storytelling feature. Blah blah blah. Headers. Yeah, I don't understand this in this when you talk. This naming area is not understand. I don't grab this number 7. Let's go and check this use case. Or let's just check what we have in this one first. Include. Then we'll now divide it to check how understandable we find both of them. So I've already read some things there. So in include now we have CSS grid is a two-dimensional layout system built into CSS, meaning it handles both rows and columns at the same time, unlike textbox with one dimensional. So setting up a grid, you basically just put the container, that's in the container you put display grid, that's it. You got a grid. Now let's make it useful. So defining rows and columns. So yeah, we have display grid normally. Then if you want 3 equal columns, then you can put grid template column, that's 200 pixels 3 times. Then if you want 2 rows, you can put grid template rows 100 px. So that's like a simple analogy of grid. That's with sizes. So if you're adding sizes to it. Now if you want to add fractions to it, then the FR unit fraction is your best friend. So you can put one FR, one FR, FR. That means you have 3 equal columns that fills the available space. So if you want to do that for if you want 2FR1, that's first column is twice as wide as the second column. So just know that one FR basically just shares the speed equally. But when one value is higher than the other, then you are going to have twice as much space than the one. If you put 3FR, that means it's going to be 3 times as much space taken than the first or second one. So repeat that saves you from typing. So when you're same as one, okay, this is what I now understand now. So you can see instead of writing 1FR 3 times like this first one to share the space into three, you can basically just write repeat 3, 1FR. So you are basically just saying the same thing. So instead of having to write that thing, but I feel like it's the same period of time. I'm going to type this one and type this one. What do you think? If you have to type 1FR 3 times, you won't type it finish before you write to repeat and write 3, 1FR inside it. Abi, is this one relatively faster? I don't know, Sha. Then we now have this one repeat 4, main max 150px and 1FR. That's responsive column. So when we have like the min max, that's the minimum size should be around 150px. Then we now have 1FR. So that means everything should be at least 1FR. That means taking one fraction of the available space, and it should be a minimum of 150px in size. So then we have gaps, normal stuff. You can either put row gap or column gap. So placing items on the grid, items automatically flow into cell, but you can place them manually. Okay. When they say it automatically flows into cell, is that okay? When you have a grid, no on in Flex now, if you put something that's filling more than the available space, you have to put flex wrap before it goes to the next line, right? Sure, you dey hear me like this, Bolu and Toby. These guys have gone. Pardon. Roll me, baby. Sorry, guys. Let's wait for these guys to join back because they also need this information. We're trying to pass. Oh, baby. Yo, bro, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah, no, sure. So, what was I saying? Okay, yeah. You understand this first repeat now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sure. So the second one is basically the same analogy from the first. It's just that the first one you're basically just repeating one FR 3 times, right? For the second one, you want to repeat this min max code 4 times instead of 3 times. So what you are trying to tell is that okay, you want, let's say, the amount of columns inside a particular container should be at least 4, right? Then it should be 4, not at least 4, it should be 4. Then we should now have each boxes or each column should have the main, that's mean size or mean width or something of at least 150 px, and they should take available space. That means if the size that is there is more than 150, it should expand to fit the space. But if it is 150 and below, it should stay in 150 that it is. So that's basically what is there. So it's basically just this one F I just is okay. If the space that is there is more than 150, expand to fill up the space as long as every of the column fits that 4 columns requirement. Do you grab?
Yes, yes, yes.
Show only by.
So wait,
Yeah,
basically,
sure.
what he said is that like now, so the cards now, if for the four
Mm,
cards, since it's repeats 4, so for the 4 cards,
mm,
if the available the available space for them is more than okay, it can take more than 150 pk, more than 150 px. All of them should
mm.
expand more than 150 px.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like now, if the space is not available, all of them should congest together.
Yes, yes. So that's really
Okay.
what's there. So and it's not cards per se. It's mostly it's column. There might be 12 cards inside that particular container. So they are just basically going to share them into 4 columns. Do you understand? So if it was only 4 cards that is there, you can see 4 cards. But let's say you have like 24 cards there, you are going to have 24 different, 24 cards, but 4 different columns. Do you understand like that?
The network was bad at that point. Please let me to rephrase.
So I was like, it's not card per se, it's column. We are talking about columns here in grid. So in this place that I put repeat 4, that means you want to repeat 4 columns. So let's say inside that container, you have like 12 cards or 24 cards. Regardless, it's just going to share everything into 4 columns. Then the remaining stuff still applies. That means if the column or the external or the space, the available space can take more than 150 px, it's going to expand the column. So that 4 in that place does not represent card, it represents column. Do you understand?
Oh, okay. I get.
Yeah. So even if the amount of containers that are there are more than 20, normally you have to press display flex or press flex wrap before they can come to the next line. But if it's grid, if it have already take more than the expected space, it's going to beat them to the next line by itself. So that's how it works. So you just make sure that everything is
Okay.
under 4 columns by itself, automatically 4 columns. Then we now learn about gap too. I don't think we need to go further. Basically, just space between the content of stuff. Then we now have placing items on the grid. Items automatically flow into cell, but you can place them manually. So when they say flow into cell, it's basically what I explained before. If the space are more than expected, it basically helps you to beat down. So the thing will now form something like a table, something like that. So we have rows and column. So there's not going to be overflow in any way. Everything is going to be falling into place. So that's basically what it is. But then you can now arrange or rearrange how you want them to be like manually. So that's where this one comes in. So you have grid column 1/3. So start at line 1 and end at line 3. That spans 2 columns. Row 1 only. Hmm. I think we are going to have to do this one before we get this grid column 1/3 sha. So when we want to like practice the grid, then we know what we are doing here. But I shall know that it's basically just help you to rearrange or arrange them manually. That's what it does. Then we now have grid template area. This visual way, the visual way that's dot container display grid. Then we have grid template area. Header, sidebar, main, that. I don't understand this one. So grid template column. This is incredible, readable, and great for page layout. Alignment. Okay, alignment is normal, the one that we've learned from Flex. Justify item center, align event center, justify content, all those ones are the same thing. Auto responsive grid, no media queries. So we have display grid, grid templates, one that's repeat, auto fit, then min max 250px, 1 FR. Then we have gap 20px. What this auto fit does now is basically that as long as each column take 250px, right? If the one that the column takes more than 250 px, it's going to automatically beat it down. But if the space is more than it, it's going to share it into 1 FR. So that's what it's telling it. So this particular line of code might be confusing because you do not actually specify how much column we want inside that particular container. But it makes perfect sense. So let's say you have a container that contains like 20 boxes and you don't want to specify how many columns you have, but you already specify how wide each column should be, right? And you already specified that if the column size is more than 250px, you want it to fill up the space. So that's basically it. So if your width of your screen is particularly maybe let's just say 100 and 1500px, it's going to share that 250px into how many it can contain. Then if there's extra space, maybe the space that cannot contain the last 250px, it's not going to share it within the rest of the boxes that has been there. Then it's now beat the rest again to another line. So there's no like specific amount of columns there. The amount of columns that you have inside that particular section is going to be fluid. That means it does not take one particular amount of column. I don't know if you understand my English. This guy have gone again. But just the talk. We still want learn Tailwind today. The network is kind of bad. So yeah, that's why. But network they show you should go. Maybe they show she because I don't talk tire. You finally realize that you're not in the call. Are you here now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh yeah. So I was explaining where do you stop hearing from? So I'm not going to overshoot. Hmm?
The grid items, like rearranging the grid items.
Okay, okay. That's yeah. So I think we are going to have to like make more research on this one. I don't understand what is in this place. And maybe when we try it out, like in the example, we'll get it. So I say we should move on. This grid template areas, this one is also not really clear. Then we have alignments. This one is normal stuff that I've learned from Flexbox. Then we now have auto-responsive grid. So this one I was explaining before I noticed that you were not in the chat. So yeah, we have display grid normally, but in this place, before I even talk again, do you think you understand what is inside this place? Like this grid template column. Do you think you understand it? Try and explain it in your own words. Bolu. Omo. Bolu. What do you say? I know they hear you. In case you can hear me. You guys' network is very bad. Oh. Bro, are you here now? Is your network better?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what I was like. I was like, you should like explain this particular line in your own terms, if you understand it.
So what I said was that, like, this min max, I think they want to do responsiveness. So basically, every the
Mm.
maybe the items, so the grid items should have a width of 250 pixels if the available space can contain them. All of them should share the equal spaces. All of them should share the space equally. And if it cannot, then they should probably shrink.
Yeah, so that's basically, so we are not specifying a particular amount of columns here. So it basically just, it takes any amount of column as long as there's available space, or as long as the available space changes, the amount of columns also changes as well. So that's basically what that code does. So that's basically, so we have grid versus flexbox, quick rule of thumb. So use grid when you need rows and columns, building page level layouts, and you want precise placement. Use flexible when you need items in a single row column, building components level layouts, and you want items to flow naturally. That's when you use flex. Then for my opinion, may I prefer flexible. So it depends on your own preference. So yeah, so these are the different properties that come with using grid. So we have display grid. It goes in the container, display templates column container, rows container, template area as well. Container gap to goes in the container. So these are the things that you place in the container. But for the items itself, you have grid column, grid row, grid area. Justify items, these are normal stuff. So now let's go and check on that positioning again. That's this one. So control V. If I wish to practice this, show me an example so I would understand this better. Like H1, HTML, this we have items A, B, C. And this place you now put the normal stuff. Then, for example, using the line numbers as column 1 equals to line 3 span 2. Okay, now let's check it. So basically just look for an HTML file to test all of this out. Bolu, I hope you are still here.
Yes, I'm still here.
Sure. I think it's only grid we learn today. So let's just digest grid today. Then tomorrow we'll start Tailwind. Okay. So we have already basically just pasted this one. So I want to test the positioning stuff. So we have display grid normally, and we say grid templates column. That's we want these 4 of them should fit. That's the all the space there should be from 4 we should have 4 columns and they should share the same space. Then for the row, that's repeat 200 px. As we have 2 rows and 100 px, then gap 10 px. So let's see how it comes out first before we now check the other properties. So you have A, C, D. Example 1, use line numbers. A grid column 1. What happens? Column line 1 to line 3 equals to spans 2 columns. Row line 1 to 2, first row only. Result, a seat at the top left, wide like it's stretching its arms across 2 columns. Me, I don't understand this positioning as well, I swear. Or do you understand it?
I
You
think I
believe
saw he
length
gave
is
us one
the
example. That part that I said 1/3 and 1/2. No, like he showed one little example under it. How the this thing will look like. I think that too means the amount of columns because I saw something like the column this thing.
Is it this one that you're talking about?
Wait, scroll down. Because I saw the example. Wait, I asked ChatGPT to explain it to us like 5-year-old children. So it will better.
Oh yeah, no, I recall. It's very, very simple. Imagine this, you have a table made of boxes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Each box is a space your toy can sit in. Each box is a space your toy can sit in. The lines are important. Between the boxes are lines. Okay. CSS grid counts lines, not boxes. Okay. So let's say we have 4 boxes. We are going to have how many lines between them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you put a toy in the table. Put a toy in the table. The toy is your dot item class. So case 1, grid column 1/3. This is like telling the toy start at line 1, stop at line 3. So the toy sits like this. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it covers 2 boxes. Case 2, grid column span 2. It's telling the toy, I don't care where you start, just stretch and take 2 boxes. So whenever the toy lands, it becomes wide. The big difference, key version 1,3 says start here and end there. Says be this wide, choose CSS chooses this replace. Rules are the same thing. So I think I understand, but I don't understand the use case yet. Do you understand? Or I should explain what it means to
Me,
you.
the way it was saying it that okay, start here and take this width. Me, I'm thinking it's just like flex grow. You know the way we used to do flex grow 2. It will be
Mm,
bigger, it will be twice bigger than the other ones.
it's not really flex group. It's not really flex group. It's not really flex group. Me, I understood it to be something else. It's not really flex group. What is there is basically you're telling it where to start. That means the items that are inside that container, where to start and where to stop. So for this
Mhm.
first one now, that's flex, I mean grid row 1 comma 2, I'll be grid column 1 comma 3. Basically telling it, okay, this particular item starts from this place and end in this place. That's what
Mm.
they're telling you to do. And if you put grid span 2, that means okay, you don't care where you're starting or ending, just take two space. So that particular distance is going to stretch across. So it's not flex grid. If it's flex grid, that means you're telling it to go in a particular, maybe when there's extra space, you should grow and fill up space. But this one is not growing. Basically just sharing the content into um different spaces. So you can see this place now, they said um when you have read column 1, let's say in this thing you have normally 4 slots. Normally you have 4 slots, but you have already put grid column 1/3, and you're telling you that grid does not count spaces, it counts lines. That means let's say you have 4 columns there like this now. The lines that is going to be there is going to be 1, 2, 3, right? So it's counting the lines. So the space between that 3 lines is what is going to put the contents in. So
I
that
get, I get.
line 3 now covers 2 boxes. What do you say?
I said I get, I get.
Oh yeah, sharp. So that's basically what's there. But me, I don't know like the use case yet. So maybe that's what you're going to figure out individually. As if you want to like check on a project or something, you can just check how you can achieve it down. What is grid self is stress to me, to be honest. I don't really like grid as much as I enjoy using Flexbox. So yeah. So I think we should just digest that one today. Abi, what do you think? Or we should go ahead and do Tailwind.
Let's just digest this one then. We'll probably learn it individually and then come back and do
Oh
Tailwind.
yeah, sharp, sharp. So Tailwind is going to be our next stream. But before then, I feel like we should tell us how to like prepare for that next stream. Let's everybody download Node.js. So to download Node.js, basically just come to your Chrome and search for Node.js download. When you search for it, the first link that's download Node.js, just click on it. Then choose your PC version, whether you're using Mac or you're using Windows, whatever. Just scroll down. Then select your device. So just come in, either Mac OS, Linux, or you're using Windows. So just download the Windows installer, then install it on your PC. So it will be version for the next stream. So that when we come there, you just basically just code along. So Bolu is still be there. Tell him also to download Node.js if the PC is using does not have Node.js yet. So that we'll not like
Okay.
have to like wait on network the next time we are going
Okay.
on stream.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So that's that for today's stream. Any question? Do you have any question, Lindsay?
No question.
I don't know. I don't know. Sure. So meet again next time. Bye.